Today we are speaking with Becky Clay from Cornerstone Christian Church, a growing church community that has been thoughtfully building in its new space over the past years. We had the privilege of creating custom signage for the church using the Jure design, warm combination of wood and metal, with added rails for easily changeable information. Let's hear Becky's perspective on this journey, their community, and role of design. Hi, Becky. It's so nice to have you here with us. Could you tell us a bit about yourself and your role at Cornerstone Christian Church? And for those who may not be familiar with your church, could you share a little about your community and its mission?
Good morning. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you. Cornerstone Christian Church, a non-denominational Christian church in Dallas, Texas. And I am a member of the church. And when we began renovation of this building that we've taken over a couple of years ago, my skills in design and decorating and staging, those kind of things came into play, as did a lot of other people's design and carpentry and construction skills. We had professionals on the job, but a lot of us had to get involved with the design and decoration of this building that needed complete renovation. But it's been a fun, interesting, difficult, but very worthwhile journey at Cornerstone.
Speaking about this journey, your church has been under construction for over a year now. And what has this journey been like for your team and your congregation?
When we bought this building, it had been a church before, and it had a sanctuary and offices and classrooms, but it was so old that we had to peel off all the paint on the walls. It was so thick from about 50 years of paint and thorough, complete destruction of the building and start over. We didn't move too many walls, but it was down to the studs and taking everything all the way back. So we had an opportunity to every single space and anything that had to be put back into the building, we had to do it. And so that included, of course, professional signage. And when I got to that point in the construction, all of this, well, let me back up. We had started on this in earnest in June of that year, and we had to be in the building by November. And so we had basically 6 months, 5 months to do this thorough and complete renovation. So it was all hands on deck. It was everybody doing everything they could to make this happen. And so when I came across your company's information and just from a Google search, because I was looking for something very different. I wanted something that was very professional looking, that would reflect our values of excellence, and that we wanted to reflect that throughout the building, that I was so pleased to find your products. They just have really been such a boost and a blessing for giving the building a really professional, polished look.
And speaking of our signs, you chose the Jure design combining wood and metal. What drew you to this particular style? And you also customized the signage by adding rails for changeable information. Why was it important for you to have that flexibility?
When we first moved into the building, we had assigned different offices and classroom spaces in the existing rooms. And of course, we knew that it would be a flex space for a while. We knew that it would be changeable and interchangeable. But first, starting with the design of the Jure, it was important to me because our building sits in kind of a commercial, not industrial, but a commercial area. It's not in a typical neighborhood or rural area of Dallas. It's in kind of a commercial space. So the modern industrial design was kind of our template for designing each area, both externally and internally in the building. And so the Jure design fit perfectly for what we were looking for with the mixed use of materials of metal and wood. The metal is a strong component of the design, but the wood softens it up, obviously, and gives it a really warm, organic feel. So that was an important element to reflect in these signs. So it just made for a perfect blend of materials because we're using that type of design throughout the building with metal, mixed use, both metals and wood in furniture, wall art, and things like that. So it was perfect.
Thank you. We are really glad to hear that. And how did you find the process of working together on this customized signage project?
It was wonderful. You guys were so helpful in helping me easily design. I would think up something in my head and think I had to do all the heavy lifting, but I would just ask the question, well, can you do it this way? Well, yes, it was very easy, very flexible. The design is a very flexible design. When we first started out, the first signs that I had made were not the slide in, the flexible signs. And I have since added more signage to the building and added the flexibility of using the slide in for ease of changing out classrooms or offices, different people moving into different offices and moving around. That has been a real plus and just excellent customer service and helpful customer service in helping me know that I don't have to do all the design work. I don't have to do all the heavy lifting. You guys have got all of this. And seeing all your processes through the videos that you show on both your site that I've seen, it's so impressive that what your company is doing and how you do what you do, but it makes it very impressive to see and to be able to reflect that in our building.
Thank you. And what was your reaction when you first saw finished signs?
So impressed. I mean, well, can I show one of
Sure.
our signs?
Of course, we will be glad to hear to see.
Here is one. Here is one from a conference room, and
Amazing.
you can see we have the braille on here
Mm-hmm.
as well. The building requirements of the city designers require that certain rooms you do have to have the braille on there. And so that was an easy addition in the design that you were able to produce. But again, the use of the metal and the wood has just been such a beautiful mix of materials throughout this building. And of course, you were able to do any font, any color. And then the new slide ins that we're doing have a slide in both across the top and across the bottom, which has made it wonderful to add a name for the room, but then we can add in the classroom name, but then the age group of the people, children or whatever that can go on there as well. So just total flexibility of just this, sign that's the 9 by 9, I believe it's 9 by 9. But yeah, it's just been such an easy process. And it was always so exciting to get them in the mail, nicely wrapped, very safely wrapped that we received. And I'll be ordering a few more here very shortly too.
We're waiting for that. And it's been some time since you are using our signage, correct? And especially this one for a conference room. And
Yes.
they still look the same as when you ordered them, right?
Yes. Yeah. They are very easily to clean or wipe off or, wipe around. Also, I wanted to mention this one. I had replaced this one because we changed a room that had been a conference room and
Hmm.
changed it with a slide in feature. So this had to come off the wall. And on the back, I was just going to show you the stickers that stick on the back. Very good. I nearly had to have a jackhammer to get it off of the walls.
I was going to ask,
They
did you have trouble by removing it?
and I knew that it would probably take paint off the wall, which it did a little, but I put the new sign right back over it, so that was no problem at all. But yes, I just wanted to mention that the adhesive that is on the back is extremely strong and holds well. Nothing has come off the walls since I've put them up there, and they've been up there now for a year and a half, 2 years, I guess.
We are glad to hear that. And why do you think details like signage matter so much in places that are centered around community and connection?
It is critical that when people walk in the building, especially visitors, people new to a building, anyone who's ever walked into a new church, knows that it can be a little scary, daunting. You don't know anybody, or if you do, you don't know where to go, what to do. And you want to make people feel as comfortable as possible, as quickly as possible, and not have them searching or having to stop and ask people, at least, where's the restroom? Where's the sanctuary? Where's the classroom? Where's the nursery for my children? And so developing a signage process that walks them from the front door throughout the building is just makes for a much more polished and professional feel, that people don't feel like they're on a hunt for a room or a restroom or anything like that. So that's been very critical, that we wanted to make it feel as comfortable and professional and warm and inviting as possible.
And what advice would you give to other churches or community spaces that are planning new building or renovations in general?
To definitely look at step back and see it through the eyes of a guest, whether it's an office building, a church, any type of building, any type of commercial or public space, whether it's public buildings or private. Look at it from the standpoint of someone who's never been in that building before, and think through each step of the process that you're trying to create, the feel that you're trying to create. Make it blend throughout the building so that you've got a real cohesive design feel, which gives off a much more professional and comfortable space for people to be in and move about in, and certainly find their way around in. Again, without having to ask a lot of people or ask directions from, everyone. Make it comfortable so that they can walk in and direct themselves to wherever they need to go.
I agree with you. And as the construction continues, what are you most excited about the future of your church?
It's a work in progress. We will be continuing to, as we pay off the building and have a little bit more money to spend on just the things that are more aesthetics. We have certainly been focused on our mission, which is to spread the gospel of the Lord throughout the world. And we have missions throughout the world that we support. And so a lot of our budget goes towards that. So it hasn't always left a lot of money left over for us to renovate or continue renovations or upgrades as we go. So I'll be looking forward to, as we have a little bit more money in the budget for wiggle room, and continuing to update and upgrade spaces, both externally and internally in the building, to continue a cohesive and professional look that will continue adding to all the spaces in the building.
Thank you so much for your time, for your feedback, and we wish you to really find time and money to grow everything that you just listed. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. I really do appreciate all the help and support that I've gotten from your company.